Hello. So one of the first projects Professor asked us to work on was the zine, and when I first read the description of the project, it mentioned non-fiction slash fiction. So in my head, I was like, yeah, I could do anything. But then the more I thought about it, the more one incident stuck with me the most, and that was uh, the 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 moment when I broke my nose in Ashoka, and I wanted to capture that particular moment in the zine because it was a very important moment for me. It's not just because uh, it was a big accident, but because in a way it changed it changed the way I viewed the world completely. Like in a difficult, like it completely changed it. And the best way I could show the work was through a comic or graphic illustration. So this entire, it's a 26 pages long comic, which intricately depicts every moment of me jumping in the pool and breaking the nose, and what that breaking came across as a new beginning for me. So this was a simple exercise that Professor made us do during the class. We were tasked to sketch each other as it is, and pick any eight or ten sketches that we do in the class, and then create a story out of it. So these are the students in the class whom I managed to sketch, but I went with a completely different characters. Each and every one of them are in the same park and doing something on their own, and they're just observing each other. The second project was the non-fiction. So we were tasked with finding stories of real people, real stories, and show them in a different, show them in a creative way. And I had this conversation with one of the security guards a long time ago, who said it was a casual chat, and he had mentioned that the world feels very different when everyone else is asleep. You start to notice things that people usually don't notice. For instance, the light of a single room that stays up whole night. These are the kinds of things that usually people don't notice, but when you're sitting in one place doing the same job again and again, it starts becoming prominent. And that inspired me to make this story of what people who work after the world sleeps sees through their eyes, how the world changes, what the stories, what the people bring out, what kind of stories do people bring out, and is it really the same world when we're awake? It is that is with when we all are asleep. There's a second part at the back. It kind of reveals how students behave during the day and how students behave during the night when everyone else is asleep, because the fear of people looking at you and judging you goes away once you know that everyone else is asleep, and that brings out the most authentic form of students. The third project is about home. I had a very hard time thinking about what home means for me. A part of me wanted to do something or related to my own home back at my country, but I couldn't really pinpoint what exactly made me feel home there. And the more I thought about it, the more I started to realize that the home that I have in my mind is in a way already broken because of the recent protests. Like, for me, the home, for me where I belong to my home, recently underwent like a massive protest. And that has created a crack.
We have my zine here. My idea behind this was basically I wanted to explore my love for music and especially Bob Dylan. and a lot of this project stems from that love and that passion. So here I have these paintings which have two panels. The upper panel is supposed to represent the life of the musician and how his experiences bleed into the song. And the lower panels, which have the lyrics, kind of show how the lyrics are helping people explore their lives and experience their lives through the words. And at the end, we have another musician that rises who probably was inspired from the music of Bob Dylan. So that kind of shows how music inspires music, but also somebody's life and somebody's words and their experiences kind of live 100 times or 1,000 times because somebody else hears them, repeats them, sings them to someone to live their life and make meaning of what they're experiencing. When Professor told me about the non-fiction project, I knew exactly whom I wanted to talk about. My project is on my CC professor, who is a Japanese woman who teaches Carolyn martial arts, Kalaripayattu, in India in Ashoka. So as you can see, my project is a comic strip that uses ideas of magic realism to explore how someone uses their body to find strength, and how also stands for a lot of anti-establishment ideas that focus on freeing the mind from institutions and the binaries that bind them.
Hi, I'm Adityan. This is my zine. It's based of a. The title is Up You Get. It's based on my journey. Based on my journey into sports and how I started playing basketball. So it initially started with a order, not order, like a mom and dad asked me to go outside, play a sport, and then so then I took it. So then I took up basketball in 2013, and then I remember in the 2014 World Cup, Neymar, football, Brazil. I was very inspired by him, and then I wanted to play like him. So then but I play basketball, so I decided to change my way of playing subconsciously to play basketball like he plays football, and then so I was on my school team, and we went for matches in these buses, and then in the bus I was like, before the match I was looking at Neymar highlights instead of basketball, and my friends and all were talking about NBA. So then that's how. And then over the years we won tournaments, we lost, and then there was a point where I wanted to go professional, and but then due to like exams and board exams, that wasn't like a possible option. Then so 2019 May, so that was the time around COVID. So started 2020, and then everything stopped, and then we skipped to college, and then I started playing. Why am I playing the sport? Even though I used to love it a lot. And then before I could answer, last year I suffered an ACL tear, which kept me injured for like 1 year, like rehab. Had to do a lot of rehab. Then I was asking myself, why should I even play again? Should I make the effort to play again? And then you can see some of my biggest inspirations are Spider-Man, and this is a character from the anime called Demon Slayer. And then they like never give up attitude, sort of. And then the next page about a conversation with me and Neymar, in the sense because he also suffered a lot of injuries throughout his career, and I felt like, and he also suffered the exact same injury as me. So, and he also had a 1-year rehab. So I was like, and he's coming back to sports, and so if he hasn't fallen, so why should I fall? So in this slide is, will I play again? Yeah, and the answer is yeah. I will. I had to fall to remember that I still love the game, and hopefully one day soon I will be back on the court. And this is the This is a conversation with my our floor bhaiya, who was the cleaning and the maintenance. So it starts. We meet every day in the pantry area. We have a conversation, small conversation. And one day he noticed me icing my leg, and then he asked me क्या हो रहा था, क्या हुआ. Then he also shared some story of his injury, and then then I asked him. We got talking to where Bhaiya is from. So Bhaiya is from Jhansi, and and I asked him about Diwali. Will he go home for Diwali? He said, हाँ जाना तो है, मतलब पर admin से approval लेना है. तो then I asked him, वैसे सोनीपत में आप कहाँ रहते हो? Then Bhaiya lives in there's Sabji Mandi close by. We're just beyond that. He lives over there, 15 minutes from here. And then a couple of days later, after the Diwali break, he thought I'd come early because the floor was still empty. But then people had anyway taken extended break, so that's why he was asking. Then he just made a statement कि खाली तो है, like the hall is empty, but Friday को काम आसान बनता है क्योंकि normally on Thursday nights people used to do a lot of parties and a lot of mess used to happen in the toilets and on the floors, and then he has to finish all his work by Friday at 4 p.m. because that's their out time. And उसके बाद but he said एक अच्छी बात तो है, मतलब जब से ये बैग स्कैनर आए हैं गेट पर उसके हिसाब से मतलब people have to go outside to do all their parties and all. That's why nowadays the cleanliness is better on Thursday nights. And he said then basically जिसके बारे में students complain कर रहे थे बैग स्कैनर, वो housekeeping और staff के लिए अच्छा है. And then he said वो जिम्मेदारी हम पर पड़ जाती है अगर गंदी हो जाए, even if it's not our fault. And then admin also knows, but he said वो भी क्या कर सकते हैं, उन्होंने बैग स्कैनर लगा लिया. And so then he said भैया is always smiling and very very positive. So he said वैसे भी मुझे इतना शौक मतलब फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता क्योंकि मुझे बस 4 बजे निकलना है क्योंकि मेरे अपने बच्चे के साथ पार्क में खेलना है. तो मैं हर दिन जाता हूँ उनके साथ और फिर पार्क में अच्छा लगता है. तो he's okay, he's happy to leave at 4. And the last one. This is home. So this is inspired by Howl's Moving Castle. It's an animated film. So there's essentially a moving house, moving castle. So I've stayed in 3 places: Bangalore, Hyderabad, and Delhi over my life. And so Bangalore, the first place I remember, and then so this is like a collage and a montage of us. And then this swing is where my grandfather taught us how to swing. And brought me and my brother how to swing, and then so we used to keep going here. And this is also the first place I watched the movie Cars. It's a big part. My love for animation comes from Cars. And so you can see, so each time I go to a place, I take a small picture, like I add a small element of that into this empty house. And so these are my friends from Bangalore, so childhood friends. So even after moving away from Bangalore, my grandparents still stay, so we keep visiting them. And so this is like we have the same photo in the same house, and the same faces are there. So it's like one of my favorite pictures. And so we used to play cricket in this plot. And then 2010 we had shifted to Hyderabad, and Hyderabad is where I started playing basketball, and I found Neymar on the World Cup. And this is the apartment complex. And then on the last day, this made me sad to leave Hyderabad. One of my friends, he injured himself just before my leaving, and he was in a wheelchair for like a week or so. So just before leaving, he had come to our home to say goodbye before we went to Delhi. And then later on the cloud, I realized I didn't want to leave Hyderabad because. And then so the band that I wear in my hand, so he had given me a band on Friendship Day on 2014. So I decided. So I wear it. So the original band broke, but I still wear it in honor. So I still talk to him sometimes. And he's still in Hyderabad. So yeah. So whenever I go, I'll meet him. And then we came to Delhi. So Delhi, my Nana Nani used to stay in Delhi. So I remember, like on the way from the airport to my Nana Nani's house, we had to pass a lot of roundabouts. So it was like so for us, it was like a roundabout city. So then, but I call Delhi my home came from the fact that I stayed in Bangalore and Hyderabad, which is in the south, very different to Delhi. And then, so I shifted in 2014, and then, but I feel like after 11 years in Delhi, I feel like Delhi is also now home in a sense. Now when I think of home, it's basically Delhi. and a combination of all three, and then so that's what I mean by, so my house has all elements from all three places, and geographically it's like a triangle, and this is like a moving house home.
So for my non-fiction zine that I had to work on, I worked on an article that one of my friend has written, and in his article he talks about the challenges that students face in school who are bilingual, especially people that come from studying in a native language to the transition to the English language, and how that is seen in society, how people that are studying in English medium are seen more सर मैं बोल नहीं पा रही हूँ, पता नहीं क्यों. Okay. And it talks a lot about how not just the experience of students who go through this transition, but how it is in the society that people that are from the English medium have better opportunities and will have a better life, and people from the Telugu medium are explicitly seen as lower compared to students from English medium. And I tried to stick to the similar style throughout the novel, trying to showcase a little bit of blackboard style. And all the writings that you see on the book throughout the zine are exactly as they are from his writings. I've just tried to come up with illustrations that go with the writing. And in every image that I write, I try to keep it as close to the real life as possible, like the writings that are there on pillars in the government schools. I try to show the characters as less as possible, only in places it was required, to sort of generalize it and show it as an issue that not just students from the Telugu background go through, but like students from any native language go through. The clear distinction between English medium and Telugu medium, I've tried to dramatize it to make it look more explicit. And this is the person that the story is written about and his personal experiences. This zine idea came from a concept of how everybody actually survives every day, but like we all forget what real living is like. We all forget to follow our dreams and get trapped in the rat race. And I try to do it using the concept of matrix, how in the movie Matrix there is a matrix that is controlled by some people outside it that can manipulate it and change things, and that can help people get free from the matrix. But then I realized how there's nobody outside the matrix controlling us in real life, but it's just there's somebody inside us all, voices inside our head that are formed from our past experiences, from listening to people around us, that make us not do things, that make us stay in the trap, that make us not follow our dreams and in fact forget our dreams. And that's how I try to, in each of the page, bring out the concept of matrix and what in like very inexplicit, like not very explicitly say how we are trapped in the matrix, and how it's not just me but everybody else. I try to generalize it wherever I could, but I try to also include as many personal experiences as I could. And while I was writing my personal experiences, then as well I tried to not use names but relations instead, so that other people can relate. And I tried to not stick to one particular style, but try to do collages and different things to show how messed up all of this is. And here I've made this to show how I am my past experiences, but like my present is my future's past, and I can decide to like stay in this mindset or like change my mindset. And then I've asked people around me what living means to them, and the inside is what shows what living means to me. It's about the little things. It's about our little experiences. For the stories we had to make behind the portraits we have made, the first idea that came to my mind is the one I went ahead with, which is different psychic powers that I would imagine people have, and I tried to go with what came to my mind on the go. For example, this person having two buns made me remember antennas, which made me come up with the idea of hearing other people's thoughts, and this person's curly hair made me think of what his hair would be when it's straight, and that could happen with electricity. So that's how I came up with the idea of electricity and how he has the power to control and generate it. And this person's earrings made me remember hypnotism, and that's how I came up with the idea of her getting into other people's minds.
Hi everyone, I'm Gurpreet. I'm a second year, and in this project, this is my zine. In this project, we have to show one part of our life. So I decided to show the community library because it is the most important part of my life, because this has shaped me who I am today. Because this was the time when I was learning, evolving, being into community library, learning with kids, teaching them, working with them. So this made me learn my confidence, learn myself, who I am today. So this is a very important part of my life.
Hello, I am Ria. I am a third year student, Media Studies minor and Sociology major. For the visual storytelling course, we had 3 projects. This one is my zine. It is my personal story where I talk about how my journey has shaped me and my interests. I have named it All That Breathes because this journey has taught me to respect and love everyone, irrespective of if they're human or non-human. So that's why I named it as All That Breathes. And these are the posters which I have made. So growing up, I found my passion of reading and writing. So whenever I read something or hear something that I really like, I try to write them in a beautiful handwriting and make their posters. So this is the corner of my zine.
So this is an in-class assignment that we did where we had to draw our classmates from different angles, and it was a really fruitful journey because in the beginning I was drawing what I think I could draw, and then by the end of it, it turned into something that I didn't even know I could draw like this. So it was a really interesting journey to see how I used to think that I couldn't draw, and it turned into this. So all of these are classmates of mine, and we had to give them a different character arc from their regular life. So for example, this is an alien. This is a chef, but this is actually Saraswati, a version of Saraswati, who is a classmate of mine. And yeah, so all of these are different portraits that are pencil drawn. So this is my home project. It is about, it's an installation that brings together 10 photographs that remind me of home. And these aren't grand moments, but they're fragments of home that I've lived and felt. And each photograph is paired with a letter that I've written to that Polaroid, describing why that moment lingers and what it taught me about comfort, belonging, and memory. So the installation is my way of saying thank you to the people who have documented in this photograph. And also the installation is called White Noise because I, for myself, really like white noise and it finds me very relaxing. So there's also a QR code mentioned here which refers to a link where you can listen to the sound while reading the letters and looking at the installation. So this is my zine. It's called Alamo. It's inspired by a song by Alec Benjamin called Alamo, and it is surrounding the struggles of insecurity that we face in our daily lives, and it has been put into paper. So it's just a documentation of how I feel insecure when it comes to college life or my social life, and I tried to put it down on paper as accurately as I could.
So yeah.